Aegis Moto Adventures is taking its last surviving matriarch on a bucket list tour of Florida. Join us as we go to the Keys and head up the East Coast. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we continue our journey with Mom on some of her bucket list items and trying to check some of the things off that she'd like to see. Come along with us and enjoy the fun. We started out our day by jumping back on A1A at Fort Pierce. This is an area where there's a little bit of a break in A1A, that there's two sections, one that goes south and one that goes north, and we jumped on the north one. Here we're going by a boatyard, and it looked like they were actually building some new ships. Wabassa Beach County Park area was a nice little stop to take a break and stretch our legs, and gives us a chance to enjoy the ocean front. It was beautiful here, and the sound of the waves crashing in made it a really peaceful stop. After our little break, we head back up A1A northbound. This section of A1A is one of the nicest drives, in my opinion, in the state of Florida, with many beach accesses that you can easily get to at no cost and easy parking. As I mentioned before, Florida is the boating capital of the United States, with thousands of miles of shoreline, both in the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico and inland lakes. Boats are absolutely everywhere. Well, the girls kind of did their own thing this afternoon, because they went to Kennedy Space Center, and since I'd already been there and did a video on that last year, I decided not to go in and do some research on some other sites that we could go see. And we're at one of those sites now. The Cruger-dePeyster sugar mill is located in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, which is the second oldest city in Florida. In 1830, Henry Cruger and William de-Peyster purchased 600 acres of land and established a sugar plantation at the outskirts of town. The buildings were made of coquina, and coquina is made by mixing shell fragments, quartz, sand, and calcium carbonate to make a concrete-like structure. In 1835, the sugar mill was destroyed by Seminole Indians in the Second Seminole War. This bankrupted the operation, and the ruins were left to rot. Some of the sugar mill's machinery was repurposed for a sawmill. In 1970, the area was placed on the U.S. National Register of Historical Places, and the property is maintained by the Florida Park Service. There is a nice little park associated with the ruins, with picnic tables and hiking trails, and all of this is free, but it's a little hard to locate. You have to really make sure you go down it, because it looks like a driveway. We did make a stop at New Smyrna Beach, right on the beach, and drove the car out there. But because the sand looked like it was pretty fluffy, I didn't want to risk getting the car stuck in the sand, so we headed back up A1A. We arrived at Daytona Beach at high tide, and I looked here and it looked like the tide was a little bit high to get onto the beach at this location. So we went down just a little bit further where there's more sand, and then turned for a drive on Daytona Beach. Mom had never done this before, and so it was a real thrill to be able to drive down the beach. There is a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit on the beach for vehicles. We defied that a little bit on the motorcycles because going 10 miles an hour on the motorcycle on sand is a little bit difficult. But with a car, it's real easy to do. The spring break craziness is over here in Florida, and families get on the beach here, as you can see, and have a fun day with the kids digging little sand castles and holes in the sand, and the parents just kind of chilling out. Makes for a nice, relaxing day, and it was nice enough temperature-wise to be able to get in the water if you wanted to. Here we take a drive down Main Street. During Bike Week, this place is crazy. Bikes line the streets and motorcycles drive up and down Main Street all day long. There's several bars around there that are just humming during Bike Week. Once Bike Week is over, this turns into a pretty pedestrian area. There were a few bikes, however. We got stopped by a drawbridge here as a sailboat passed through. The bridge has to go up to allow clearance for sailboats because their masts are so tall. On the intercoastal waterway, these drawbridges line the entire coast of Florida, and they're governed by different rules. Some of them are manned and can be radioed in for the bridge to open. Some of them are timed on the half hour, every hour, or sometimes just a few times a day, depending on how busy it is. tricky this morning because the sun's creating some shadows and the wind's blowing the pages here, so bear with me. Anyhow, yesterday we stayed in West Palm Beach, which is about right here in Florida, just north of the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. And we went up as far as Fort Pierce, which is right here, and then we come out to A1A. And we basically ran A1A all the way up to Cape Canaveral and the Kennedy Space Station. Now, I didn't do any filming there because last year Roy and I did that, and I filmed a lot there. So the girls just went inside and spent about 2.5 hours there while I did some more planning. Then we cut out to the Highway 1 again, and then back into Highway 1 and A1A, and we took a drive along the beach. And then last night we spent here in Daytona. I hope you liked yesterday's video. Thanks for watching. Take care.